No. All right. Good morning. I would like to call to order this meeting of the Fremont County Commissioners. Invite you to rise for an invocation by Bradley Buck, Bridge to Life Assembly of God, and please stay standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Father, we're grateful for your rule over our world. You are a good God. We recognize that you have wisdom and knowledge that we don't have. And so we entrust Fremont County to you again this morning and ask for your guidance. Thank you for our commissioners and how they serve us from the heart. We pray that they will be of one mind as they lead us and as they make decisions that affect all of our lives. Thank you for your mercies that are new every day through Christ, our Savior. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks, Bradley.
Thanks, Bradley.
Thank you.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Bell.
Present.
Commissioner McFall.
Present.
Commissioner Grantham. Here. County Attorney Bellis.
Present.
County Administrator Croce.
Present.
Let's move next to the approval of today's agenda. I am unaware of any changes we need to make.
Nor am I, Madam Chair. I move to approve the agenda. Second.
Motion and second to approve today's agenda as presented. Further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Commissioner Grantham. Aye. Commissioner Bell.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Consent agenda we turn to next. I would like to note we are scheduling no public hearings into the future on today's agenda. We do have a couple of approvals of verification and signature sheets for our HUTF, Highway User Tax Fund information, and the approval of the resolution for the vacation of recorded public right-of-way, Department of Planning and Zoning, which we did at our last meeting. We also are verifying a signature on proxy for Arkansas Groundwater and Reservoir Association annual meeting of shareholders.
No, that's a mouthful.
Indeed it is.
With that, Madam Chair, I move for the approval of the consent agenda.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to approve today's consent agenda. Further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Grantham.
Aye.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Commissioner Bell.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Let's jump into administrative and informational topics. We'll begin this morning with staff and elected official reports. Up first, County Administrator Report by Tony Croce, our County Administrator. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Madam Chair, Commissioners.
Morning. Morning.
Just a couple things this morning. We'll start with the job opportunities that we have posted in the county at the Fremont County Sheriff's Office. We have a detention deputy position that closes February the 11th, which is tomorrow. Department of Human Services, we have 3 positions posted. We have a social caseworker, adult protective services, that closes on February the 19th. A social caseworker for the FAR unit, which closes February the 11th, 2026, and an economic security technician that closes February the 16th. In our clerk and recorder's office, we have a motor vehicle clerk 1. It's a part-time position, and that closes February the 17th. So if you need further information about employment opportunities with Fremont County, please visit our county website at fremontcountyco.gov, or you can call our HR department at 719-276-7409. I also want to take a moment to apologize to our citizens, customers, and our staff for the elevators that are still down. We had I don't want to call it a motherboard, but we had a computer board that went out on the main level door, and we ordered the part about 3 weeks ago, and we're still waiting for it to come in. Hopefully it'll be here soon. But in the meantime, if you need access to the upper or the lower level, please ask our security officer that is standing out front or any staff member, and they will go downstairs and ride the elevator up to the main level and then take you up to the whichever level you need to go to. And that's all I have, Madam Chair.
All right, thank you, sir. Questions for Tony? Comments? Okay. We turn next to Sean Sutton, our Finance Officer, for a 2025 year-end sales and use tax report. It looks like you might have some good news for us this morning, sir.
Yes, better than our elevator. Yes, so to get started, just wanted to go through and wrap up some numbers that obviously we received from the state and from Clerk Grantham. So retail sales tax collection, this is for year end. Before I get started, just want to remind everybody, the numbers that you see here, this is a 75-25 split between general fund and sales and use tax, which totals at the bottom. 75% obviously stays in the general fund to offset our expenses in that area, and then 25% that gets transferred or moved over to the sales and use tax fund is used for capital projects and to pay our COPs. So not all these dollars that you see here are general fund. But
And a quick reminder on that, I believe that's the way the original question was sent to the voters to implement a sales and use tax here in Fremont County. Was it 25% of that would be used for future improvements?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
just wanted to clarify.
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. So for December, numbers came in pretty strong at $895,473. This is $59,388 more than 2024. Year-to-date collections were $9,584,762, which is $69 more than 2024, which is about a 1% increase year over year. And then budget-wise, we are ahead of budget by $1,184,762. Just a reminder, we typically like to budget pretty conservatively here in Fremont County. So when we see numbers like this, it's kind of an expectation that we go for, that we hit those numbers, budgeted numbers. Obviously, exceeding that's a good thing. As I mentioned last month, and as kind of projected, you'll notice the last 3 years kind of a flattening of the curve of the collections themselves. That 9.5 million, you kind of see each of the last 3 years as kind of flattened. We had some increases from 2020 through 2023, but with the flattening, what that really means is there's potential that when we're not receiving additional revenues or increases, that can affect, obviously, expenses, because we don't ever want to have expenses outpace our revenue. So when we see just a small 1% increase, obviously, the finance department tracks this closely and lets you all know so we can make the best decisions moving forward for our budgets. So, any question on that report before I move on?
I will take that 1% increase over a decrease anytime.
Thank you, Dwayne. I agree.
Yes, 100%.
Considering what other counties have been going through,
Absolutely. Yeah, it's
1% is great.
Looks really good.
Good news, yeah. So I did report these last month, but again, just wanted to remind Justin how busy he was in December. Yeah, and I think even some flowed over to January. I think you mentioned that. Some of the year-end stuff got moved. So we're anticipating hopefully a good January at this point too, but I guess we'll see. Maybe not. Okay. So December totaled $132,935. This is $21,950 more than 2024. Year to date, $1,520,609. This is $174,698 less than 2024. However, this was expected due to the sales in each of the last 2 years of businesses, 2023 and 2024. A more normal year, if you can, whatever normal is, 2021 and 2022 obviously as maybe a better base for that. But ahead of budget, as Clerk Grantham and I discussed, still ahead of budget by $245,609. Lodging tax, so we did get those numbers from the state for December, totaled $62,191. This is $2,627 more than 2025. more than 2024. Year-to-date, we sit at $421,115 collected, which is $51,766 more than 2024, and ahead of budget by $81,115. So what we like to see here, obviously, when we have more heads and beds, that drives our economy here in Fremont County. So this is a good indicator. Again, this is kind of an increase since 2022, hopefully sustainable, but this was a pretty big number and kind of an outlier as we tracked it. Obviously, pretty substantially more than 2024 and historical numbers. So we'll monitor this in 2026 and see what brings it to Fremont County for sales tax.
So there's something interesting with that. You talked about more heads and beds, and we tend to use the lodging tax revenues as amount of people that possibly came here to raft or whatever in the summertime. And you look at this and it's up a little bit, which is great. But if you talk to the people in the industry, it was down. So is the cost of the motel room more, making that 2% more money, causing this to go up? I mean, there's a balance in there somewhere and it's off. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's kind of interesting. And I know that the industry, or the industries around here, a lot of people used to come and they'd go rafting, then they'd ride the train, then they'd go to the bridge. Now they're just coming in and doing one and leaving as well. So maybe that's the indicator, but it is kind of interesting that it was up and the industry was down, so.
From what I'm hearing, it's a little bit of both.
Yeah.
It's room rates that are up, but also occupancy, adding to the unexpected increase compared especially to other counties and their lodging tax revenues, which have fallen. But also the adjustment that folks have had in how they're vacationing. And stopping in a place like Canyon City and then moving on to the next destination without stopping to raft or stopping at the train or stopping at the gorge. That may be shifting. It's hard to tell exactly because of the weather right now, but the bridge is actually up right now. It's early, but with weather in the 60s and 70s in the middle of winter, and they're seeing a little bit of a spike right now compared to past years. So hopefully that continues on into the actual tourist season.
Well, actually, no, we need snow to keep them from coming, or we won't have a.
Hopefully the tourist dollar spike will continue, but the weather will give us a break to, yes, not
It's all relevant, right?
not have the summer that we kind of fear.
Yeah.
So, anyway, sorry, continue.
Oh, yeah, maybe spending the money at the bridge instead of up on the ski hills right now.
Right.
Hopefully that'll turn around here in the next couple weeks.
Yes.
I know I'm a skier, so I'm hoping for lots of snow up there. It can stay up there, though. So retail sales tax for the Sheriff's Department, again, this closely obviously follows the general fund. It's their portion that, again, was approved. So this totaled for December $596,982. This is $39,592 more than 2024. Year-to-date, $6,389,842. This is $61,848 more than 2024, and ahead of their budget for 2025 at $439,842. And then the last report to wrap up 2025, this would be the auto use sales tax report for Sheriff's Department. December totaled $88,624. This is $14,634 more than 2024. Year-to-date, $1,013,741, which is again $116,465 less than 2024, but ahead of budget by $178,741. So again, as Commissioner Bell indicated pretty good numbers to wrap up the year. Obviously, as we move into 2026, we'll look to monitor these numbers and make any recommendations or changes that are needed. But hopefully, we just kind of keep plugging away where we're at.
Thank you so much for that, Sean. As Commissioner Grantham indicated, Fremont County is in a pretty unique place in Colorado right now, I think. We have a lot of our neighboring counties who are cutting $10 million out of their budget that they did not see the shortfall coming. Others that are much smaller counties, if they have to cut $500,000, that's a lot of money for them. And I think we're in a very enviable position that we're kind of always on guard, watching out for that. And that probably is why we haven't found ourselves caught in that position, and hopefully we won't. So,
Agreed.
thank you so much.
You bet.
Questions?
Sean.
Anything else? All right, thank you, sir. We do have some elected officials here who would like to speak this morning, so we will begin with our county clerk, Justin Grantham. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Madam Chair. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Very informative this morning, because I don't like to take sides, right? Because I'll let you guys do that with all the bad bills coming down the pipeline.
And we do.
Yes, absolutely. So today and tomorrow, there will be limited access to both the recording and elections. I'm having to move elections upstairs and recording downstairs. So know that that move is taking place today. But on the recording end, know that research and e-recording is still available, so which is never anything new. You can actually e-record and research 24/7, 365, so that's never anything new. So just know that that's happening there. Next week, DMV is closed. The county is closed on Monday for President's Day, but on Tuesday, DMV will be closed. We're doing a major software upgrade, and that's over the entire state. Just FYI, the kiosks will be down, the state website will be down, driver's license, and title and reg across the entire state is going to be down. So just FYI, Tuesdays, don't plan on doing anything with the DMV. Wednesday and Thursday is appointment only. That way we can keep track of everything and make sure the system's actually working the way it's supposed to before we fully open back up the following week. So just FYI on that. With elections coming up, there's some hard deadlines coming up. So I just wanted to let everybody know that this February 13th on Friday is the last day to register with a party in Fremont County if you want to participate in caucus. State law is 22 days beforehand, so just thought I'd give everybody a heads up. If you want to switch to Republican or Democrat, both parties have decided to hold their caucuses on March 8th, 7th? Not Sunday, Saturday the 7th, which is why February 13th is there, so just FYI on that. And if you're going to be signing a petition for somebody going onto the ballot, know that you have to be affiliated 22 days before you sign the petition to actually sign that petition. So just FYI on that. And petitions are due to my office for the county petitions on March 18th. So just thought I'd give everybody a heads up on that. And other than that, we're good to go.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I think we'll turn next to Commissioner McFall.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just real quickly, as Justin mentioned, the bad bills coming out of Denver already. Been in session a couple of weeks, and man, it's crazy. We had CCI steering committees last Thursday and Friday, which we were involved in, and I don't even know how many bills we went over in those 2 days, but it was a bunch. And yeah, 2,000, 3,000. It was a bunch, and it's interesting. Colorado Counties Incorporated is Republican and Democrat and unaffiliated. I mean, totally bipartisan, and even the Democrats were agreeing with us on all these bad bills coming out. So on most of them. So there's some bad stuff coming out of Denver. I don't know what the push is up there. I can only guess, but you have a bill named after the governor's husband's dog. You know that they're really pushing for stupid stuff up there. Pomeranian something. It gets crazy, but we will continue to take place in those and take stands with CCI as well amongst ourselves, and encourage everyone else to pay attention up there, because they're coming after us in one way or another, whether it be in our rights, our gun rights, our building rights, or just your own personal rights. So watch out for them. We talked a minute ago on the consent agenda about the HUTF funds, Highway User Tax Fee Fund. We all get charged that when we renew our licenses and stuff, and it's supposed to go to counties to help maintain roads. That's another thing that the state keeps cutting, that ours keeps getting less and less payments every year because they're taking the money off the top of that to balance their budget up there rather than cutting spending up there. And there's another couple of bills this year that attack HUTF funds from the top. So it's sad that it continues to go down and down and down, and our roads continue to deteriorate because it's hard to maintain those roads. So that stuff like that is what we've got to watch up there in Denver, and we need everybody's help. Thank you.
Nothing about fire season?
You know, it's just damn dry out there. Be
All right,
careful.
thank you. This meeting would not be complete
know,
without
sorry.
that statement.
I was on fire with Denver, so I was worried.
All right, there you go. All right, Commissioner Grantham,
All righty. Settle in.
settle in.
I want to talk a little bit about some of that legislation as well, and some of the specifics, just to keep people abreast of what is going on. But first, actually, I got a couple or three things I want to talk about. The first thing, Sunday, Tony actually came into my office this morning and reminded me of something, and I went and watched it, a particular commercial that was on during the Super Bowl. But there's a whole lot going on, and a lot of talk, and just people in a tizzy over this halftime show. I could care less about halftime shows. I haven't watched a halftime show in a couple decades, I don't think. Who cares about what they do and what they don't do? However, that being said, this being the 250th anniversary of this country, and the 150th at least of Colorado, that's unrelated to the Super Bowl, but shame on the NFL. They lost an opportunity. They lost an opportunity to celebrate this country, and shame on them. They could have really done it upright and in a fashion that made everybody proud. Instead, they put on display and they paraded out an anti-American themed halftime show, one that I didn't watch, admittedly, but have seen enough of the clips and commentary on to know what it was about, and shame on them. That being said, it's not like there wasn't something to hang your hat on if you wanted to be proud of something. I never thought I'd say this after the last few years, but good for Budweiser.
For once.
They had a heck of a good, just feel good America, rah kind of commercial. And good on them. That was at least the one bright spot in that regard. So good for them.
And
Thank
the
you.
sun is in my eyes as well.
And the sun, yes.
Yes. If you
So-
saw it, you know.
So, good for them that we're able to capitalize on that and at least fly some colors. The red, white, and blue colors in particular. So, that's all I need to say about that. Secondly, I want to talk about the legislation. There are a lot of bad things, obviously, and there's no surprise with that, right? But just to kind of detail, maybe not details, and that's not the right word, or else we will be here all day. There are a couple bills to point to when it comes to how they're trying to limit and restrict our law enforcement from doing their job. House Bill 1037 is one of them. Senate Bill 70 is another one. Both of these are restrictions on the info that law enforcement will have access to. These are not even on their surface. These are completely anti-ICE kind of legislation, disallowing our local law enforcement to be able to use third-party data, which is data that's already collected and out there, but it would disallow governments from being able to purchase that data in order to do their research, to do their jobs. This is an obvious attempt to limit ICE's ability, but also limit our local law enforcement's ability to aid ICE in their mission. Senate Bill 70 is the same thing. It disallows the access to historical info, which is really kind of the same thing as 1037 in what they're doing. Obviously, bad things that are just anti-law enforcement and anti-ICE. There's another one, House Bill 1038, about commissioner redistricting. It doesn't directly affect Fremont County, but it will eventually affect Fremont County. This is a takeover of how commissioner districts are redistricted every 10 years. It is incumbent upon the county to draw those lines and to approve those lines. And what they're trying to do is take that away in some of the big counties, those big counties happening to be Republican counties. This is an attack on El Paso County and on Weld County on how they have been able to draw their districts, which actually went through the complete legal process and were approved even by the current Attorney General who is running for governor. But they say not good enough. They want to be able to gerrymander their own districts with an independent commission in order to get the representation that they feel that they are missing. It's wrong. This is in the hands of the county. This is another stab at local control, even though it's not a stab at our local control because we don't fit the parameters for the bill. But once they get to that point where they're able to take away that ability from El Paso County and Weld County, they will come for Fremont County and other like counties. One of the worst bills of the session, other than the anti-Second Amendment bills, and there is a bevy of those, but I won't detail those today. One of the worst ones was House Bill 1036, the vacant residential property excise tax. This would have allowed counties to place their own tax on vacant residential property, an excise tax, over and above the property tax, without any head nod or anything to the fair and the requirement for fair and equitable taxation for people. This is for vacant residential property. This is trying to make it more expensive for people to have second homes and vacant rentals. This is trying to make property more affordable by making it less affordable.
That makes perfect sense.
If that makes sense. Raising the costs on property ownership in order to lower the costs of property ownership. Obviously, it's nonsense. It was the worst bill of the session because a House committee actually killed it last night. So, that's good news. It was even utter nonsense to the Democrat majority of that particular House committee. So, thankful for that. There's another bill, Senate Bill 42, which is a Tabor revenue classification, reclassification. This would actually allow the state to reclassify certain kinds of revenue in order to take it out from underneath the Tabor cap. This is in effect a tax increase that they are going to try to do an end run around Tabor by reclassifying certain revenue as non-Tabor. Well, that's it's obviously a squeeze on our refunds in order to make sure that they can have that money to balance their state budget, which they are not going to do anyway under the current track. The last one is that I want to talk about is 1033. It's the Cottage Food Act. This would act Cottage Food Act. Yes, I said it right. This would expand the ability of folks to make and sell their own products and their own food outside of government interference. I think this is a good path to take when it comes to our ability of people to make and sell their own wares, their own food products. There's a whole lot of scare tactics that are marched out on this particular food act. But hopefully that is something that we can see get through the process to further expand how folks are able to do that. And that's all I have on legislation. One last thing, Madam Chair, if you will oblige.
Absolutely.
There has been a lot in the news, a lot over social media, in regard to a certain funeral home facility here in Fremont County, and in regard to our county coroner. Well, the situation, I just want to say thank you to the people of Fremont County, because when that news story came out, obviously our heads kind of exploded up here on how they framed that story. And I want to thank the people of Fremont County for how they responded to this story. Because, boy, you go on to KRDO's Facebook page or their website and you look at the commentary from people from Canyon City and Fremont County, and there is no mercy given to KRDO on how they treated this story. It is beautiful. It's a beautiful thing to see how they're standing up for Wilson's and Holt's and for Coroner Keller. It's a fantastic thing to behold and witness. As beautiful as that is, it is also just as reprehensible how KRDO handled this news story. I'm careful. I'm trying to be careful on how I frame the media, because they have a job to do. But this was nothing short of yellow journalism. This was sensationalism. This was tabloid kind of headline grabbing in order to get attention, and it was disgusting. There was I wanted to be really eloquent and say something, just awesome, but trying to write something up about this, I came across this. I don't know this lady. She's obviously local, and I'm not sure how to pronounce her first name. It's M-A-R-E. It's either Mary Schmidt or Mare Schmidt, but she's on Facebook, and she put it out there, so I think it's okay to read this. But she put it down so well. I just want to read it, if that's okay, Madam Chair, just so folks have the benefit of seeing how she put it, because she did an excellent job. To the KRDO News Director and editorial staff, I'm writing to formally object to the framing and editorial choices in your February 4th, 2026 article regarding Wilson Funeral Home and its cease and desist order from the Colorado Department of Regulatory Agencies. In this piece, KRDO positioned a regulatory and licensing dispute alongside two unrelated and deeply tragic cases involving gross mishandling of human remains at Return to Nature in Penrose and Davis Mortuary in Pueblo. This proximity was not necessary to explain the Wilson matter and functioned instead as a guilt by association storytelling. Your use of language such as the latest in a series invites readers to assume equivalence where none had been established. As reported in your own article, the Wilson matter concerns an alleged lapse in registration and a disputed classification under DORA rules. Your reporting does not allege, nor does it substantiate, any mistreatment of human remains in this case. By juxtaposing it with criminal-level failures involving hundreds of victims, KRDO created a misleading narrative that inflames public fear and grief rather than informing the community. I am particularly concerned with your treatment of Fremont County Coroner Randy Keller. Your reporting emphasizes his office's contractual relationship and notes that he was unaware of a registration lapse, facts presented without sufficient context and in a manner that implicitly invites blame. As you are aware from your own prior reporting, Coroner Keller previously attempted to raise concerns with state regulators in unrelated cases and has spent years managing the aftermath of systemic failures not of his making. Continued framing that places him adjacent to scandal narratives is unfair and damaging. Responsible journalism requires clear distinctions. Administrative or regulatory enforcement actions must not be framed as moral or criminal wrongdoing unless evidence supports that conclusion. Amen. Tragedies involving abuse or desecration of human remains must not be involved as atmospheric context for unrelated compliance matters. And public officials responding to crises should not be editorially positioned as suspects through implication. Brilliant.
That's good.
Just brilliant. That one point, administrative or regulatory enforcement actions must not be framed as moral or criminal wrongdoing unless evidence supports that conclusion. That was one of the things that just burned me up when I read this, is they're trying to say that this lapse of licensure somehow is moral or criminal misconduct. That's the implication KRDO was making, falsely. Licensure and registration with the state does not imply moral or non-criminal activity. It doesn't guarantee anything except the fact that you have a piece of paper. And this is coming from someone who holds one of those regulatory licensures and pieces of paper. That doesn't guarantee anything. All it means is that you're putting more money into the state coffers with no guarantee. But I digress. Thank you, Mrs. Schmidt, I believe, for your eloquence and how you wrote that and framing it in such a way and putting KRDO in their place. They're disgusting headlines and pieces of, I want to say journalism, but it wasn't.
Can you?
It really wasn't.
Yeah.
I know our county attorney has some very cogent thoughts on this whole matter, as we've discussed with him in other situations. But thank you, Madam Chair, for your indulgence, and everybody up here. I am obviously a little bit worked up over this one in particular, but thankful, again, just ending on this note, thankful for the people of Fremont County, and they're coming to the defense of these folks, our coroner and the people of Holt and Wilson. So, thank you.
The lady has a way with words.
Yes.
I agree 100%. Okay, I also have a few things, and then I promise we're going to get to real business here soon. First, I would like to just remind you all that, as our county clerk did allude to a moment ago, these buildings are closed on Monday. We will be closed with all of the federal and state buildings as well to celebrate President's Day. So don't forget that's happening on Monday. Also, I would like to remind you all that our next meeting is not going to take place 2 weeks from today on the 24th. Instead, we had to move it to Thursday, the 19th. So it will be on next Thursday, because a couple of us will be in Washington, D.C., fighting at the federal level, as well as we fight at the state level. We will be with the
Remember, it's
national...
negotiating, not
That's
fighting.
right. Sure it is. Okay. Reframe my wording. All right, we're going to be negotiating with our federal legislators on that. During that week, we'll be gone, I think, about 5 days for the National Association of Counties Legislative Conference. So we will be busy attending to that. We will not be here on the 24th, so our next meeting indeed is at 9 a.m. on Thursday, the 19th. The other thing I wanted to talk about this morning is when I first started paying tribute to some of the amazing people in our community who have passed on, I had no idea that we were going to lose so many so quickly. And Fremont County has lost another of its most passionate advocates, Walter Shep. So Walter was a very, very dear friend to many, and perhaps the most philanthropic human being I've ever met. His favorite cause was the Pueblo Community College Fremont campus, where he and his late wife, Gloria, invested millions of dollars for student success. The Shep legacy was cemented recently with a $2 million donation to bring a nursing simulation lab to the PCC Fremont campus. Walter and Gloria were closely involved with Pueblo Community College from the day the Fremont campus opened in 2001. In addition to providing significant financial contributions for college improvements and scholarships, Mr. Shep also served as a member of the PCC Foundation Board of Directors and as a longtime member of the Fremont Advisory Board. With its deepest gratitude for his steadfast commitment and to its college and students, PCC recently honored Walter with an honorary degree from PCC. Walter was very, very well known, excuse me, to Republicans here in Fremont County. He was a solid supporter of all of us locally, of state, of federal Republicans, and his most proud possession, I believe, was his campaign hat that had campaign buttons dating all the way back to, I believe, the 1940s. And he wore that to everything he could wear it to. Commissioner Grantham and I were just discussing, I wonder what happened to that hat, because it should be preserved somewhere, somehow. So I would like to mention, no services are planned for Walter, but instead, I would like to ask you to please remember his generous spirit with your own act of kindness. Godspeed, Walter. You are already missed.
Thanks, Debbie. I want to add one thing that Walter and his wife also contributed to, and a lot of people may be familiar with that. And that's, I think it was 154 acres of land, which are now part of South Canyon Trails. Shep Ridge, which is part of that, is the land that they donated. So it wasn't just the college, it was the whole area. They were great people.
They donated to a lot here in this community. Thank you for that. Okay, are we all done up here? All right. Moving on to citizens who wish to address the commissioners on a matter not scheduled on today's agenda. We do value the opinions and thoughts of our citizens, and we welcome you to step to the microphone at this time if anyone has anything they would like to bring to our attention. All right, seeing none, we will move on. We have no old business today. Turning to new business, our first item is a public update on online processing for Fremont County Building Department and Planning and Zoning Departments. We have had this in work for a very long time. Some of our staff has spent many, many hours invested in this, and we're going to get an update first from our Planning and Zoning Director, Dan Victoria, who's going to tell us what's happening. What's going on, Dan?
Hello, everyone.
Good morning.
It's kind of strange being on this side of the things. Yeah, so we've been working for quite some time now trying to find a permitting software that would work for us and for the county, for the residents of this county. So, yep, an update to the county search for permitting software that will have hopefully ease of use for residents and staff alike. For approximately the last year, we've heard numerous demonstrations, various software programs that could possibly fit our needs, including on all those demos. We've had IT Director Lisa Hall, the building official Wyatt Sanders, GIS Authority Keith Berry, myself, and numerous staff members. So we tried to include everyone that would actually get hands-on with the system to see what would fit us best and kind of fit our needs. So we ultimately felt that Cloud Permit is going to meet the needs the best. Staff has been working with Cloud Permit since earlier this fall to bring modules online. Currently, the Code Enforcement module and the Building Department module, a Building Department module is live. Planning and Zoning is going to start training soon for the Land Use module. It's going to take approximately 3 to 4 months of training for staff alone to get up to speed on how to use this. Sounds kind of daunting, but it offers so much to the public and staff. It's going to allow folks to submit online from their home or office, or if they don't have the means to, they'll actually be able to come into either the building department or the planning and zoning office, and we're going to have kiosks set up for them to submit, and we could help walk them through the process since it is going to be new. With that being said, it allows us to send out the application to all the various agencies that provide comment. It allows the applicant to track to see when comments come back. And then when reviews are done, it's going to allow us to real-time just send the feedback over to the applicant, and they could send us back the pieces that we need to fix it so we can move it along. So it is kind of new, kind of big, kind of scary. But I think once everyone starts getting the hang of it, it's going to really make things easier for all of us. And that's applicant included. So we're pretty excited about it. I figured this would be a great chance to be able to have some other folks that are actually using the modules and the ones that are live speak. So down here we have Office Manager Lindsay Clark from the Building Department, who's going to talk about the building module. And then we're going to have Kyle Yarberry from Code Enforcement speak about the Code Enforcement module. And they're going to be able to explain how those work in greater detail, since I'm not up and running yet.
All right, thank you, Dan. Yep. Hi, Lindsay.
Good morning,
Good morning.
Commissioners, the board, and all of our viewers out there. Thank you for letting us come down and talk to you about this. So basically, Cloud Permit is modernizing how we deliver our services, making our processes faster, more transparent, more convenient for residents, contractors, and staff. So basically, this is an online portal that we're going to be using. It's going to work for our permits, our reviews, our contractor licensing, and our inspection needs. So basically, what they're going to be doing is they're going to turn in their applications online. They can turn it in 24/7, anytime. They don't have to wait for business hours to come in. Once our office receives that application, we're going to do an initial overview, look it over. We'll send them an invoice. Once that invoice is paid, then they can just, some of the permits will be automatically issued if it's like a re-roof or something, that doesn't need an in-depth review. Any that do need an in-depth review, they'll start the review process. And one thing that we're really looking forward to with that is it's going to have real-time tracking throughout. So it'll hit our office. Once it goes to planning and zoning, it'll go through their review. They'll be able to see that in their portal and let them know. We get a lot of calls throughout the week kind of asking where things are, where it's at next, what, the timeline. That's kind of always a guessing game, so we're looking forward to them being able to get that feedback and instant notification. When it's in review, if it needs additional documents submitted, they'll be able to submit it right through there, and that'll also help with a quicker review turnaround time. Next, once that permit is issued, they will go to the inspections. Our inspectors are going to have new tablets that they'll take out there with them in the field. So as soon as they're done with that inspection, they will be able to get instant notifications whether their inspection passed, whether they need a re-inspection, additional documentation, things like that. They'll also be able to put in photos, and it will go directly to us. So if one of our inspectors is out in the field, they need additional guidance, they can call right to Wyatt. He can look at those pictures, kind of give the guidance needed. And that'll also be beneficial for homeowners, contractors, if they're questioning kind of what was seen. We'll have that proof right there that we can just shoot to them in messages. Third, we have our contractor registrations. So our contractors, they'll have their own dedicated portal. Sierra and I have been working, we just went live on this part. So this is our only part that's launched currently. But Sierra and I are currently inputting all of our current contractors' information. So we're trying to do the hard work for them. Soon they'll be getting emails asking them to just create a portal. All they have to do is do the username, password, I'll create it. This is a good way for them to be able to see their renewals and submit their new insurance. And then once we're live, they will be able to apply for all of their permits right through that portal. They'll be able to track it through the review process as well as all of the inspections, see exactly every single job lined up, where it's at, what needs done next. And they'll be able to request all their inspections online through that as well and kind of help gauge that. Lastly is our GIS maps. We will be working with that. So when a homeowner can go on, they'll be able to look at it, and each individual permit will be pinpoint on there for each job location. Concerned citizens, realtors, everyone out in the public will be able to use this feature, and kind of if they're looking at it and see something questionable, they can look at that map right there and see kind of what the job is, what the status is, or if there is a permit at all. While we're going digital, we're not holograms yet. We're still going to be right there in the office. We're going to be there to help. As Dan mentioned, we do have a kiosk set up, so they'll be able to come in, especially if they don't have access to a computer, if they're struggling with the portal. We're going to be right there to help them work through it or just submit completely for them. We still really value that face-to-face, interactions with the community. We still want to see our contractors, our normal people come through. We don't expect them to go away completely at all. So that is kind of just it for the building department. We hope to go live when planning and zoning does, but we're just kind of working through everything right now. So that's it for us.
All right, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Hi, Kyle.
Morning.
Morning.
All right, so the code enforcement module, we're pleased to announce that we've successfully transitioned to that digital case management system. We went live January 28th, and after importing our legacy cases, it was open to the public last week. The transition represents a significant improvement in how code enforcement services are delivered to both residents and staff. From the public's perspective, residents can now submit code enforcement complaints online from a phone or computer through the Cloud Permit Citizen Portal. Access is available through the county's website and the Planning and Zoning Facebook page. The portal also includes a real-time map that allows residents to view case locations and related information, providing greater clarity and visibility into code enforcement activity across the county. Residents can track the status of their own cases, increasing transparency and reducing follow-up inquiries, which will save on staff time. In addition, currently Planning and Zoning is working on reconfiguring our office to include that public access kiosk. The kiosk will allow residents to submit code enforcement complaints in person during business hours, and will also be configured to support the land use module when it goes live, providing a single consistent access point for multiple services. Operationally, the benefits of staff are substantial. Officers are now able to work in real time from the field using mobile devices. Inspections, photos, and case updates are completed on-site and uploaded immediately. In areas without cellular service, which is common in our county, lots of places that we serve that we just don't have cell phone service. The system allows us to work offline and will sync automatically once we have service back. This shift significantly reduces administrative time and improves accuracy. Instead of entering notes and photos from multiple inspections at the end of the day, information is captured once at the point of inspection, allowing staff to spend more time in the field. The system also automatically generates notices, inspection reports, and complete case documentation. So when cases must be forwarded to the county attorney, the information is consistent, organized, and readily available, helping ensure a more efficient and defensible enforcement process. Every community faces the challenge of enforcing codes fairly, efficiently, and transparently while managing limited resources. Cloud Permit directly supports those goals by improving accountability, consistency, and service delivery. Ultimately, code enforcement is about protecting quality of life, keeping neighborhoods safe, clean, and healthy, and this transition allows us to do more work effectively and make better use of staff time, delivering greater value to the county and public we serve.
Awesome. All right. Thank you.
Excellent.
Questions?
Well, really, just for all three of you, actually, what's the response right now from the standard, the typical user that is going to be dealing with this new process? Are they excited and enthusiastic or?
Kind of mixed emotions. We do have some contractors that are really excited. They volunteered to us to kind of be like the little guinea pigs. They're
Great.
ready to jump in. Other ones, I think they're a little more intimidated, just because, you know, the whole process of signing up, we've heard of some other counties and the nightmare that that can be. So we're just trying to be very positive, like, we'll help you. We're putting in all your information. All you need to do is username and password.
That's probably a good way to approach it,
We're trying,
because
so,
there's a lot of us dinosaurs still out there.
yeah, we're just trying to make
So on that same note then, a contractor comes in, has their sign on and stuff, they have to do it on that kiosk? You can't do it? They still have to
So-
go on the kiosk?
We have the kiosk so that we can sign up for them. It's both in our little lobby area and on our side, so they can do it if they want, and we can stand by and support them, or we can completely take over, sign it up for them. Our current contractors, though, we are putting in all their information, so they don't have to do anything. They just have to do the username and password. It's just kind of a weird transition a little bit to have them re-sign up, because we want them to keep their same license number. So we're doing that all on the back end of it, so that it'll be completely taken care of.
Cool.
All right.
And as far as code enforcement goes, so far it hasn't caught on. We've had one complaint submitted online, and that was it so far.
So Kyle, on that, we have trouble with people worried about their information getting out after they complain, they don't want their neighbor mad at them. I'm sure all that's secure on there. Nobody will ever know where that complaint came from unless it
is,
ends up
yep.
in court.
We can select the information that is seen by the public, and complaining information is one of those things that we did not check the box, so it cannot be seen.
Good.
But that is still something that they submit
Yes.
as part of the complaint?
Yes.
But it's just hidden from the public?
Correct.
Right,
Yeah, we
okay.
still don't allow for anonymous complaints.
Gotcha.
So I would say, as a government, Fremont County is all about improving the public service experience, right? That's what we do. We exist here to serve our taxpayers and to provide services to them. And so agreeing with Commissioner Grantham that some of us are dinosaurs, it makes me really happy to know that you are standing by, that you're ready to help, you're willing to help walk them through the experience, or to do that for them if that's really what they need. So I think that should go a long way toward making folks feel better about this who might be very skeptical at this moment in time. But I also think it's important, we wanted to bring you here today to be completely transparent and to be honest with people and say, this is what's happening, this is what we're doing. I would guess that not many people know yet that we have this user interface out there, but after today, I think a lot more people are going to know, so.
Millions.
That's right, the millions watching around the world.
Yeah, we certainly don't want to get rid of the human element. You know, we really do enjoy the walk-in access to people. Like, anyone can come into our offices, and as long as we're not in a meeting or something like that, we come out and we try and help and work with any and everyone. So we're not trying to get rid of that. The hope is that it's going to be easier for folks to follow along in their journey or get stuff done quicker. So that, you know, like I said, our land use module is going to be 3 to 4 months alone of training. So we're a little intimidated as well. I'd be lying if I said we weren't. There's a lot for us to learn. But I think once we get the flow of it, it's going to really make things quicker.
So how are, like, the consultants, the frequent flyers up there in your office, how are they reacting to this so far?
Kind of like what Lindsay alluded to. One of them mentioned their experience in a different county where there's not necessarily a human element that goes along with it, that's just go talk to a robot. They were kind of apprehensive about it, but we assured them that that's not going to be our approach.
Okay.
So we're going to see. We're going to try and make this as easy as possible.
Any apprehension is expected, I would think,
Yeah.
to any kind of change, so.
And we do still answer our phones, right?
Yep.
You don't
Almost
call
every
in-
time they ring.
Yeah, you don't
do
call in and get a
callbacks.
phone tree and press 1 or press 2
No.
or speak another language or whatever you would like to do.
Yep.
That's not us. You call Fremont County and either a real live person answers or you can leave a voicemail and they will call you back.
Yeah,
So,
everyone gets a call back.
yes, perfect.
Absolutely.
All right.
So planning and building, you have that, you're able to track the progress of does code have something similar where somebody's complaint can be tracked? I'm wondering how that would work.
They can see status updates.
Okay.
Again, like, we're able to select what can and can't be seen.
Okay.
So they won't see, like, when we issue forms or anything like that.
Gotcha.
But they'll still be able to see whether it's an active case or if we've closed it.
Okay, all right.
It should be all on a GIS.
All right.
It is.
Okay, anything else?
Neato.
But we think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that sounds cool. Sounds great.
I'm excited about it, so,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's a necessary thing moving forward with the technology
Absolutely.
that's available to us. So
Yes.
thank you guys
All
for
right.
doing the work to put that in place.
And thanks for
Thank
being
you,
here
guys.
this morning. All right, the final item of new business we have today is the renewal of a couple of secure transport service vehicle permits for MET Transport LLC. Can't believe we've been doing this for a year already, and we're still going to turn to our county attorney, Mr. Bellis, for just a quick word of explanation on what we're doing here today. Microphone, please, sir.
These, I've been sitting here so long today without saying anything, I almost forgot how to speak.
I bet.
These are,
That's an attorney for you.
these are vehicle renewal permits, both for type 1 vehicles, which means that they have a partition, a safety partition between the driver and the passengers. This is a business that we licensed last year. Those licenses last for 3 years, but the vehicles need to be permitted each and every year. So both of these are renewals for a 2017 and a 2018 Ford Explorer that does have a partition in it, so it is a type 1 secure transportation vehicle.
All right, thank you for that explanation, sir. The first we will be dealing with is a 2017 Ford Explorer, Type 1 Secure Transportation Permit for MET Transport LLC.
I think, Madam Chair, we'll do them both at the same time.
Okay,
With that, I would move to approve a renewal of a secure transport type 1 for Met Transport for a 2017 Ford Explorer and a 2018 Ford Explorer. They
You wanna
are good
include
for
the
1
dates?
year.
Yeah.
Another 1 year, starting, beginning February 10th, 2026 and ending February 10th, 2027.
And I second that.
all right, it has been moved and seconded to approve both of these Ford Explorers, one a 2017, one a 2018, for Type 1 Secure Transportation Vehicle Permits for MET Transport LLC that will be good until February 10th of 2027. Further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Commissioner Grantham.
Aye.
Commissioner Bell.
Aye.
Motion carries.
We have no public hearings scheduled for today. We also have no further business to come before this board. We're adjourned.